Alright, Renault Korea specifically included a winding course in today's test drive route, which is quite interesting. I had thought that, being touted as a flagship model, it would solely pursue comfortable movement, but it seems they also wished to highlight the Filante's driving performance to some extent. Now, even without pushing the speed to its absolute limit and driving at extremely high speeds, you can clearly observe that the weight transfer during steering is remarkably flat, providing a very stable feel. And when traversing over speed bumps such as these, and the way it handles shock absorption, it feels quite smooth as it goes over them. And when re-accelerating, it definitely has a more satisfying kick than the Grand Koleos. So it's not just about comfortably getting from point A to point B, but also offering a respectable amount of driving enjoyment. As a crossover model, it moves with a feeling that's much cleaner and more refined than a traditional SUV. Let's discuss the powertrain. The Filante is an upgraded version of the series parallel dual-motor hybrid system, first seen in the Grand Koleos. Well, I've been driving for about 10 minutes and it definitely has more punch and acceleration off the line compared to the Grand Koleos. When I first test drove the Grand Koleos, I distinctly remember feeling that the acceleration was a bit sluggish, not quite as responsive as I would have liked when pressing the gas pedal. But the Filante, even when in eco mode, still has a strong sense of wanting to move forward with just a slight press on the pedal. Transitioning from comfort to sport mode, it doesn't provide an immediate explosive surge of performance, but the vehicle's reaction to accelerator input becomes distinctly more spirited and responsive. The powertrain combines a 1.5-litre turbo direct injection gasoline engine with a drive and a starter motor. The engine makes 150 horsepower and 25.5 kilogram-meters of torque. The total combined system output is 250 horsepower. When operating the accelerator or brake pedal, the response to these inputs feels quite smooth and continuous, maintaining a fluid and responsive sensation. The transmission is a 3-speed multi-mode auto gearbox. The gear selector is positioned on the center console. I inevitably find myself drawing comparisons to the Grand Koleos, and even with the Grand Koleos hybrid, the shift was remarkably seamless when the engine engaged and seamlessly integrated into the driving experience. The Filante is no different. Whether the engine and motor work in unison during acceleration or when driving purely on electric power, the transition between these modes is remarkably smooth. The driver will hardly perceive any disconnect, or rather, almost no perceptible shift when the engine and motor engage separately, then combine forces. The transitions are virtually unnoticeable. The 1.5 turbo gasoline engine uses a Miller cycle. It features a 14:1 compression, a 350 bar high-pressure direct injection, and low-pressure EGR. It is equipped with a 1.64 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery system. With a full battery, they say you can drive up to 75% of the time in EV mode during city driving. This natural, seamless feel seems to be even more significantly improved compared to the Grand Koleos hybrid. As a flagship model, it offers spirited and nimble driving. Its combined fuel economy is 15.1 kilometers per litre. Considering its size and curb weight, this is quite a decent figure. It's not just about being efficient when driving slowly through city areas. This car also boasts the performance to accelerate and cruise smoothly at higher speeds on expressways. Although it's based on the same CMA platform as the Grand Koleos, the Filante has apparently undergone a major redesign. They've boosted body rigidity, improved sound insulation, and incorporated frequency-sensitive dampers. This setup allows for a smooth ride by reducing damping forces for subtle road vibrations, especially when driving at higher speeds. However, in situations with significant body roll, like on a winding course, it increases damping to keep the vehicle more stable. Overall, it seems to adopt a more comfort-oriented setup compared to the Grand Koleos. It quite smoothly absorbs and filters out even the smallest vibrations and impacts from the road surface. And because it's built on the identical CMA platform, the car's overall dynamic movements are notably quite smooth and refined. This steering system in particular has been recalibrated to specifically align with the ADAS system. One thing to note is that the Filante only comes in a front-wheel drive model. Also, you can't get it with a third-row seat configuration. For ADAS, it's equipped with a basic Level 2 advanced driver assistance system. But the Filante adds an emergency steering assist system. This system, specifically when driving between 60 and 90 kilometers per hour, actively and precisely steers the wheel to mitigate collision risks with vehicles or pedestrians ahead, effectively avoiding them. This is applied as standard across all trims, and additionally, the radar-based rear passenger alert function is also included as a standard feature on all trims. The clear sight feature is also included, which helps eliminate blind spots below. Moreover, with the addition of a digital rear-view mirror, you can easily monitor the rear view, even when there are passengers in the back seat or during adverse weather conditions. The Filante provides excellent forward and side visibility. However, the rear view is somewhat restricted and limited. To compensate for this, a digital rear-view mirror has been added to further enhance and improve the rearward visibility for the driver, making it much more comprehensive and safer. And on the rear window, there is no separate wiper installed. There's an air vent in the roof spoiler above it, which I assume is for clearing away rainwater or other contaminants. However, the Ioniq 5 initially didn't have a rear window wiper either, but it reappeared in the later facelift model, didn't it? So we'll have to see what happens with the Filante. It also has a full auto parking feature. And the auto hold feature is one that activates when you press the brake pedal down deeply. Cabin quietness is another area where Renault Korea put a lot of effort into the Filante. The active noise control feature is now standard across all trims. Additionally, the standard sound system boasts an Archimedes 8-speaker setup, an advanced sound system that was also included. Here you have the option to select a Bose surround sound system that includes 10 speakers. Selecting this option will also include active noise control for the second row. On the iconic trim and above, both front and rear rows have double laminated acoustic glass. Today is quite a windy day, yet it impressively manages to suppress both wind noise and road noise. Furthermore, when the engine seamlessly takes over from the electric motor, the tone remains pleasingly low and never becomes bothersome or noisy. The sound insulation is also remarkably effective. From my perspective, having previously owned a hybrid model, this aspect is indeed a highly satisfying feature. Plus, they not only reinforce the sound-absorbing materials on the floor and in the engine bay, but also optimize the door sealing structure, so there's very little noise coming from the sides. Honestly, before driving it, I was worried it might just be a prettier Grand Koleos, but after actually driving it, the driving satisfaction is incredibly high. And when you step inside, Renault actually refers to this interior space as their premium tech lounge. Setting aside the marketing speak, what you first notice is the open panoramic screen with its dual 12.3-inch displays, first seen in the Grand Koleos. The driver's cluster, along with the center screen and the passenger screen, are all seamlessly connected as a single unit. The layout is similar, but the hardware performance has been enhanced compared to the Grand Koleos. This steering wheel is a double flat D-cut type, with the top and bottom sections slightly flattened. So you'll have more comfortable knee room, and the HUD above will be easier to see, won't it? And the design is also sportier. For the Bose surround sound system, the center speaker is a floating type, sitting slightly elevated above the dashboard. This, beyond its functional purpose, is a design element that significantly elevates the car's luxurious feel. And also, the air vents and the lines positioned below are designed with long, expansive contours, making the vehicle appear significantly wider and more substantial. The first row is equipped with first-class lounge seats. Like I said before, the seats offer excellent body support during weight shifts, and the seat cushion's length is also ample for an adult male to sit quite comfortably. Rather than being overly plush, they have a firm feel. The design is also a headrest integrated type, and the Alpine logo even has a lighting feature, which would look more attractive at night than in the daytime. Rear knee room is 320mm, headroom 886mm. Despite the coupe-style roofline, which subtly descends towards the rear, the headroom remains perfectly sufficient for an adult male, offering ample space. Also, there's a hidden port on the back of the front seats where you can insert and mount a smartphone or tablet. The panoramic glass roof doesn't open, but its 1.1 square meters offer a great sense of openness. The trunk has a base of 633 liters, expanding to 2050mm with the second row folded. While there's no 7-seater model, the basic trunk space is a very practical size. The 3-zone auto climate control lets you set temperatures independently for the driver, passenger, and even the second row. It's also well equipped with convenience features like PM 2.5 air purification and afterblow. They also mentioned actively using eco-friendly materials for the interior. For all the parts you physically touch and those that are visually prominent, I'd say they've achieved a remarkably premium feel, which is quite impressive. Moreover, it incorporates an AI voice assistant named AIDA Auto, along with tips, a ChatGPT-powered vehicle owner's manual. And Team App navigation is included as a standard feature, with 5 years of complimentary 5G data. The Filante also includes many features requiring internet connectivity, so offering 5 years of complimentary service is truly a significant benefit, I believe. And with the Naverwell browser, you can enjoy an even wider range of content, such as various social media platforms and multimedia. On top of that, the Filante has further enhanced its gaming features. You might wonder why someone would play games in a car instead of on a smartphone, but the Filante features a game that allows for virtual driving integrated with real roads. I think this would be quite an appealing setup for both young children and even adults like myself. And there are 2 USB ports in the first row and 2 in the second. And today, since it's a test drive event, I've saved the design discussion for last. However, I believe that one of the Filante's most significant advantages lies in its captivating exterior design. Its height is 1,635 mm, noticeably lower than the Sorrento's 1,700. And from the side, it exhibits alluring characteristics such as its sloping coupe-style roofline and a window line that elegantly flows into the roof spoiler. The front also features an illuminated lozenge emblem and additional grille lighting. On top of that, you can see contrasting details above and below the front grille with the car's color set against a darker tone.